They called her Kor, the Maiden of Spring. She walked in meadows, her laughter echoing in the sunlit fields. But beneath the earth, a god watched, waiting. One step into a blooming field, and the world would never be the same again. This is not just a story of abduction. It's the rise of a queen. Welcome back to Ancient Deities Dossier, where we dive into myths and legend, and this is the untold myth of Persephone. In the warm light of the mortal world, Persephone, known then as Kor, the Maiden, walked among the fields of Sicily, accompanied by her playmates, the Oceanid nymphs. She was radiant, untouched by shadow, and beloved by all. But something stirred beneath the surface. At Zeus's whispered command, Gaia caused a singular flower to bloom, a narcissus unlike any seen before. It shimmered in sunlight, fragrant and full of unnatural beauty. When Persephone reached for it, the trap was sprung. The earth tore open. A chariot of obsidian and fire burst forth, driven by Hades, lord of the dead. Before she could scream, he had her, vanishing into the dark. Only Helios, the all-seeing sun, witnessed it all, and he said nothing. In this moment, the world changed, and not even the gods could undo what had been set in motion. Demeter, goddess of grain and harvest, felt the absence of her daughter like a blade to the heart. She wandered the earth in mortal form, cloaked and weeping, calling out for Kor. For 9 days and nights she searched, refusing to eat, drink, or rest. The torch she carried lit only grief. Finally, it was Hecate, the goddess of crossroads and ghosts, who approached her. "I heard the scream," she whispered, "but I could not see." Together, they sought Helios. And at last, the truth emerged. Demeter's sorrow became fury. She abandoned Olympus, cursed the fields, and halted the seasons. Nothing grew. Nothing was born. The world spiraled into famine. Temples were abandoned. Sacrifices went unanswered. Humanity cried out, but only the cries of the dying filled the air. Not even Zeus could ignore her now. With civilization on the brink of collapse, Zeus acted. He sent Hermes, the divine messenger, into the underworld to retrieve Persephone. Hades, knowing he could not defy Olympus, agreed, but he offered her a pomegranate first. Whether through trickery or choice, Persephone ate 6 seeds, and with that simple act, the girl was bound to the underworld. The gods forged a compromise. She would spend half the year with her mother and half with her husband. Thus began the cycle. Persephone rises in spring, bringing flowers and fertility. She departs in autumn, and the earth grieves in winter. This was not just myth. It was the divine reason for the changing seasons, honored by farmers, priests, and poets alike. Persephone became the embodiment of nature's rhythm, rebirth and decay, arrival and farewell. In the earliest tales, Persephone was a stolen child, but time reshaped her, and so did the truth. In the land of shadows, she did not remain a frightened girl. Hades offered her a throne, not chains. She took it. Her name changed. No longer Kor, she became Persephone, the bringer of destruction, or she who shines in the dark. The spirits of the dead bowed to her. She judged with compassion and steel. Her word, like Hades, was law. Ancient Greeks feared to speak her name aloud. Some called her simply the Maiden, others the Dread Queen. She did not rule as Hades' prisoner, but as his equal. And where she once followed Demeter, now gods and mortals followed her. At Eleusis, near Athens, a sacred fire burned in her name. The Eleusinian mysteries, some of the oldest, most secret rites in the ancient world, honored Demeter and Persephone. Only the initiated could speak of what took place within the Telesterion, the Hall of Initiation. But fragments survived. Rituals echoed the descent and return of Persephone, symbolizing the journey of the soul, the promise of rebirth, and the hope of eternal life. Those who completed the rites feared death no longer. They believed Persephone would guide them beyond, into a blessed afterlife. She became the key to the Onodos, the ascent, the soul's return from darkness. In life, she brought harvests. In death, she brought peace. In Orphic tradition, a mystical strand of Greek religion, Persephone plays a central role in the fate of souls. She is the mother of Zagreus, the divine child of Zeus, who is torn apart by the Titans. From his ashes, a new Dionysus is born, wild, ecstatic, immortal. Persephone is the gatekeeper of this cycle. Her realm becomes not a tomb, but a crucible of transformation. She is invoked in Orphic hymns as she who guards the gates, who punishes the unworthy, who gives passage to the pure. In Orphic burial tablets, inscribed in gold, the dead are told to say, "I am a child of earth and starry heaven, but my race is of heaven alone. Persephone knows me." To pass safely through death, one had to be known by her. Persephone lives on. In modern paganism, she is honored as a goddess of transformation, trauma recovery, and sovereignty. She speaks to survivors, those who've been dragged into darkness and emerged crowned. Feminist retellings have reclaimed her tale, casting her not as a victim, but as a woman who chose power, love, and the realm others feared. She appears in literature, in poems by Rita Dove and Louise Gluck. She stars in comics like Lore Olympus, where her story is retold for a new generation. Even in video games, Persephone reigns, appearing as a mother goddess in Hades by Supergiant Games. From shadow to sunlight, Persephone continues to walk both paths, and the world still follows her footsteps. Everything about Persephone speaks in symbols. The pomegranate, its blood-red seeds, symbolize temptation, binding, and the bloodline of divine queenship. To eat of it is to belong to death. The torch, Demeter's searchlight through the dark, becomes a sacred emblem in mystery rites. The narcissus flower, beautiful and deceptive, leads to the fall, and the grain, rising with her return, feeds the world. Even her dual names, Kor and Persephone, represent two lives, two identities. She is the goddess of thresholds, and thresholds are where all transformation begins. To understand her is to understand the very rhythm of existence: descent, death, return, rebirth. She was never meant to be just one thing, not merely a maiden of spring, nor only a queen of the dead. Persephone is the bridge, the breath between life and death, the heartbeat between loss and return. In her descent, we see the fall. In her return, we witness rebirth. And in her silence, we find the wisdom that even gods must yield to time. She is not defined by what was taken from her, but by what she claimed for herself. A throne, a voice, a cycle that governs all things, from the grain that feeds us to the shadows we fear. Persephone is there, waiting, watching, rising. Thank you for walking this path with us. If this story moved you, like the video, subscribe to Ancient Deities Dossier, and share the light and shadow of myth with others. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and support deeper dives into forgotten lore on Patreon. You'll find the link in the description. Because some gods never truly leave, they wait, just below the surface. This is Ancient Deities Dossier signing off. And as always, seekers of the arcane, stay curious, stay mythical.